Good morning, everybody. We're coming online to hope. We're waking up to the joy. We're waking up to the love that is. We are dwelling in our abundance. I'm Dr. Flo, not telling you what I heard, but what I know. What I know is that I am loved and lovable, and I drink my water and mind my business most days. Sometimes other people's business comes into my flow. Sometimes my client's business becomes my business. Sometimes my students' business become my business. But by and large, I really do drink my water and mind my business. I have no clue what's going on in your life beyond if you tell me, but I'm happy to let you know that I'm loved and lovable today, and I'm content. I don't really have a lot of worries or concerns today, and certainly any of the worries and concerns that I do have are going to sort themselves out, as they always have and always will. So I'm not going to fixate on the past that I can no longer correct or make any different. And I'm not going to worry about the past. I'm not going to worry about the future because the future certainly hasn't happened yet. And so that's the adventure part. We just kind of get to hang on and figure that out together. I'm going to pull 3 cards today from the Mindful Message cards sent over from StarlightMysticBotanica.com. And we'll see what these cards want to offer us as it relates to being mindful and awake in the world. There's so many people who want you to not be awake. There's so many people who are incentivized in such ways that it would help them and help their efforts if you were sleeping. And a lot of people are kind of thumbing and drooling. And they will thumb and drool to the grave. Some of them even early graves, because they don't want to apply the effort to really live the lives they want. And let's just face it, it's easier to scroll, isn't it, than to actually actualize. I'm finding a way these days, now that I have clear seeing and clear vision, or a clearer seeing and a clearer vision in my life, I'm learning that I can do both. I can both be lazy and productive. I can both be beautiful and ugly in my ways at the same time, and it's more than okay. Our thinking is what makes everything so. I was texting one of our community members, Tara, yesterday, and she mentioned that the world didn't seem real. And that's true. It's all a projection. It's all a projection of our inner. And so none of us are having the same experiences in this life at any time, because we're all projecting what happened to us or what we feel inside into the world. We're all projecting out and responding and speaking what we see. And every Friday in Love and Action Network, we choose to look at what we see as opposed to looking away. The thousands of people who've died in Palestine, all the people in the Sudan and the Congo, all of the children being abused in our community, all of the suicidal friends we have. We choose to not look away from the harm. This morning I was in a clubhouse room and there were a lot of interesting opinions and thoughts. And I was like, how are they going to, these acquaintances of mine from too long, child, on Clubhouse, like, how are they going to hold that thought today? I didn't say much in the room. I didn't say anything, actually. I just sat there and listened, because I listened to people mostly in my life, believe it or not. I'm only here for 25 minutes more today, and then I spend the rest of my time listening to people and hearing people and encouraging people from what they share. And I asked myself this morning as I was listening in Clubhouse, I said, how are they going to vibrate higher today with those particular mind viruses? How are they going to elevate and become more, having those types of things come out of their mouths as an extension of what they're thinking? And we've talked all week in here about the law of hypnotic rhythm. The law of hypnotic rhythm is that you can get yourself into a rhythmic hypnotism as it relates to your thoughts. And the things that you're thinking about most in your life is the kind of day that you're having. That's just the law. If you believe that you're going to have a great day, you'll have a great day. If you believe that you're going to have a day, you'll have a day. You're programming the whole thing. So just be mindful of what you're seeing and what you're taking in. And even if you're sitting in a room full of people who are vibrating low, be sure to see that and just make a different choice if that works for you. Because remember, in every moment we're making choices about how we want to live our lives and what we want to manifest. Just choose in this moment to just think differently. And thinking differently will cause your life to unfold in various different ways. And the most important thing that I'd like to share with my audience today here in Love and Action Network is that you gotta have fun. You know, you gotta have fun with your life. You can spend your whole life comparing yourself to other people and their riches. You can spend your whole life comparing yourself to other people's opinions and, like I said, projections on your life, or you can just go out of your way to have fun. All right, today's cards are all about, there it is, projecting. Rather than reacting and projecting my emotions onto others, I remember no one is to blame. No one is responsible for the emotions that I feel. I'll say it one more time in today's Daily Boost. No one is responsible for the emotions that I feel. No one is responsible for the emotions that you feel. My life has gotten so much lighter in the last 6 to 8 months because I'm not responsible for anything other than people's actions towards me. If they do something remarkable, I'll remark. If they say something exciting or interesting, I'll be interested. If not, then we'll just remain in solitude and neutrality, a loving neutrality. It looks like me saying to people, thank you for sharing that. Because I'm no longer allowing other people's projections or other people's thoughts and opinions to be my responsibility. It's just simply not. I'm watching Doctor Who today, all day, and connecting with the next phase of my project. And it feels so good to not be burdened and overwhelmed by other people's emotions and projections. Did I do something to offend you? Do I owe you some money? No? Okay, well, have a nice life. When someone says or does something that brings up strong emotions within me, I have the choice in how I respond. Even this morning when I was in that clubhouse room engaging old personalities in my ecosystem, my buttons were pushed in the same ways that they were pushed before. And, I'm a real one, so I've told all these people to their faces how I feel and think about them. And so there's that tension in the room. But as I'm sitting there, feeling a little bit of that heart raise, that heartbeat elevation, feeling a little bit of that flight, fight, freeze response. I had a moment or an epiphanal moment or a returning moment of I do not really care for or about these people. I had to check in with myself in the moment and take a breath as I was listening into this room from the audience on Clubhouse and just say, I'm reacting to the words coming out of these people's mouths. They're saying the same things and very comparable things that they said months ago. They're quoting the same scriptures that are falling out of their mouths into the floor. They're saying all the things that spiritual people are supposed to say. But why am I being emotionally pulled on by this? And as the card is saying this morning, I recognized that as a choice. I was making a choice to be emotionally pulled, and then that opened the door for another choice, to be compassionately detached. Oh, they are still holding on to these ideas because they think that those ideas makes them safe. It's no different than the reason why I hold on to old ideas that no longer serve me. On some level of my being, I believe that the feelings I have, the ideas I have, are making me safe. And so I was able to just cut loose all of my internal dialogue and conversation and the adversarial feelings that I was feeling just listening to former close acquaintances. Creating that distance allowed me to be free instantaneously. Once again, rather than reacting or projecting my emotions onto others, I remember no one is to blame. No one is responsible for the emotions I feel. When someone says or does something that brings up strong emotions within me, and trust me, they will always do something or say something to, sometimes, like I said, I'm surrounded by unsolicited opinions. Sometimes I ask for them, sometimes I don't. But people are always letting me know how they feel about the things I do or what's happening around. Some of that is because I projected into the world. Speaking of projecting, I projected the energy of a nice person. And I'm relatively nice. But because I projected that, people will often say and do things because they think that I'm nicer than I am. When those things happen, and they will bring up strong emotions, and we deal on, it's either Monday or Tuesdays, but every day in how we feel, I have the choice in how I want to respond. And this morning's response from me on Clubhouse was to throw a couple like stones and emojis and then cease to engage altogether, because I don't have to react anymore. We've been talking all week about the gift of being still and knowing. And in a world that tries to push you to output faster and to force relationships and to force interactions and to force camaraderie and to force all of these things, it feels so good to be able to just lay back and just let it all unfold. Because either you know that what you're doing is the right thing and is going to work out for you in the end, or you don't have that feeling at all. Either you really trust. I know this all or nothing thinking is a trauma response that I'm working through in therapy on Thursdays. But people who really believe that everything is going to work out for their highest good, they behave in certain ways. I can't keep coming in here talking about how the future is bright, joyous, and secure and not act like it. And even when people around me may put something in front of me that may seem contrary to that idea, I have a choice in how I respond to life. And I choose to respond in this moment as a person who knows that my future is bright, joyous, and secure. I also know that I can hold life lightly, which is the second card pull of the day. Hold lightly. I take the things and people that come into my life lightly. Some people know me personally in the room and know that I have a tendency, is the word I'm looking for. I have a tendency to move towards the heavy. I have a tendency to dwell in the deep. I have a tendency to not want to talk about small talky, light-hearted kind of things. I don't really small talk a lot. People small talk to me. I then small talk back just to keep the peace, but I don't really like it. I tend to be very, very, what is the meaning of this? How is this going to encourage, equip, and empower me in this moment, or you in this moment, or the world, within our reach? But taking life so heavily can make life a bummer. So the guidance of the card today is to take everything lightly, to hold lightly. I take the things and people that come into my life lightly, not holding on too tight, so that when it comes time for them to go, they may go smoothly. There's some shade in this card for me. Just for me, though. There's some shade in this card. Not holding on too tight, so when it comes time for them to go, they may go smoothly. This does not mean I love any less, but that I'm open to the changes of life. I'm the way I am because of my mother. And you are the way that you are because of your mother, or whoever was mothering and nurturing you as a child. And my mother, Joyful Joyce, used to always say to guests anywhere of hers, I'm happy to see you come, and I'm happy to see you go. This is also why my mother, like myself, didn't have a lot of real friends. Because what kind of noise is that? I'm happy to see you come, I'm happy to see you go. But my mother really enjoyed her peace. She really enjoyed her solitude. She really enjoyed her prayer times with spirit. And usually humans are bringing some other kind of agenda. There's not anybody who knocks on my front door these days, whether it's the kinetic guy or the neighbor, family, friends. No one's knocking on doors without an agenda these days. So what is your agenda, and how can we move it along? And so I've struggled in my adult life at times, because people have a hard time with that energy of a person being happy to see them come and go. A lot of people want you to have a codependent relationship with them. They want your happiness to be hinged on their presence. This is the reason why I struggle in live stream spaces, because you watch it all the time over on TikTok. People come in, or someone's probably talking to me on YouTube and Facebook right now. I wouldn't know it, because people come in, hi Flo, hello, such and such. And that's literally like the extent of the exchange. So I've learned that instead of holding on to people's reactions to me, or the comments to me, or what people are saying, or this feedback loop, that I would just stand in my I am. And when you are happy to see people come, but you also are able to release them, you don't, like the card says, you don't love them any less. But you're like, oh, you got to go and burp a baby? Go and burp a baby. Oh, you gonna leave for 10 months? You're going to leave for 10 months. Oh, you going to leave for 10 years? You're going to leave for 10 years. Oh, you going to leave for 2 days? Oh, you going to not talk to me ever again? Or mute me? Or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because we're dealing in abundance here. This goes back to these conversations I have every day about people saying, I miss you, Dr. Flo. Number one, me and my team are online every day offering encouragement, equipment, empowerment, and support. And I'm holding you lightly. I release it because sometimes holding on to a happy moment can cause you suffering. Remember, the Buddha teaches that any kind of craving, any kind of longing for more can cause an issue for us. I also recognize that so many of us, and this could be the moment here, this could be it. Some of us are going to see each other one day for the last time and never see each other again. I've lived long enough in my life to know that there are people who I said goodbye to, such as my father. I said goodbye to my father in that Atlanta airport in the 2000s for the last time. So holding on, and demanding that life works out within my closed fist and expectation, exactly as I desire it, is a setup. I can promise you it's easier to say, go take care of your flow. And it's my preference that you come back happier than you are now. But, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But you gotta be able to hold the circumstances of your life. Oh, my lights got turned off a couple of weeks ago. Some of you all were around for that, watching and contributing and watching. What if I held on to that? What if I continued to hold on to the resentment surrounding that? That's a prison for me. So I take things and people that come into my life, even just for today. I take the things and people that come into my life lightly, not holding on too tight. So when it comes time for them to go, this is also lovers, teachers, spiritual leaders, when it comes time to let them go, ideas, when it comes time to let them go, they can go smoothly. It's not a, why is she not talking to me today? Why have they not called me back? They're what all of us as adults are. Busy. Busy actually working, busy creating chaos, or busy creating peace. But we're all busy. And we've talked in here before about how I love and have loved reclaiming that energy. It's the greatest excuse ever. When people say, well, where have you been, Dr. Flo? I've been busy. Well, what have you been doing? Busying myself. You don't have to, I want to let the audience know today, you don't have to explain busy. I am a recovering people pleaser. So I always thought that I had to explain why I was off the map to people. People don't explain to me why they're off the map when they go off the map. Some of them do, some of them don't. I would say about like 20% of people in my circle say where they're going when they disappear. Other people just disappear and then they come back like nothing happened. I get to do the same now. Isn't it great? To be busy and then to hold it all lightly while also nourishing yourself with wonderful foods. What I eat fuels me. I eat the best foods accessible to me. I infuse my food with love and gratitude before eating, visualizing the nutrients I am consuming and the love that went into growing and preparing this food. Some of y'all know that I cannot wait to have my own farmhouse and garden. I cannot wait to return to farm to table eating again. because I know that the cleaner the foods are that I eat, the more mental health and physical health and spiritual health I have. It's all connected. I can't have a healthy spiritual life with unstable blood sugar. I can't have a healthy mental life with the blood pressure up and down. I have to figure out a way to use the foods as medicine to help me think clearer, for clarity in my dreams and a clarity in my purpose. That's that wisdom. Moving forward, it is week 19, and we are coming into alignment this week with an energy called patience. Once again, it's not something that I pray for. I pray for a lot of things, but I do not pray for patience because it seems to just slow everything down when I should be slowing down anyway. But on day 6 of week 19, 52 Weeks of Conscious Contact with Melody, the author says it's hard to wait. It's especially hard to wait when we're not sure we're going to get what we want. I told y'all earlier about the people who have abandoned me in my life because they cannot be clear that at the end of Love and Action Network or whatever this turns into, they're going to have their moment in the sun. I'm like, you better build your own dream here. Even last night with Sarah and Starlight, they're like, we don't want to be included in the thing. It's good. Y'all can. I'm like, okay, fine. Just make sure that you continue to build your own thing here. Because it can be hard to wait when you're not sure you're going to get what you want. Sometimes we need to stop waiting and do something else. It might happen or it might not. Would we even want it if it wasn't in our will? The text says if it wasn't God's will. We don't abdicate our authority or our power to Sky Daddy in our programs. We recognize that there's a usefulness for Sky Daddy, also known as God or higher power, but we don't abdicate our power and our strength in our action here to an energy called God. Thank you. We don't hand over our will to higher power. We recognize that there are things that we want to do. There's happiness that we want to have today. There are things that we want to grow into. There are places we want to go. There are foods we want to have. There are things we want to experience. And would we even want it if it wasn't something that was a deep desire for us with a capital D? So I want to offer today that if you got something burning inside of you that aligns with the 3 E's of our network, encouraging you, equipping you, and empowering you, if there's something that you want today, I can actually set a lot of people free in this live stream. Because if there's something in your life that you want for yourself, and it would encourage, equip, and empower you and others, and it really doesn't even need to encourage other people, it could just encourage, equip, and empower you. We have this kind of like thing in society where we like to perform kindness and generosity while not doing it. Like the closest example I have to this is when I was living in New York full time for a decade, and people would drop things on the train floor. I knew that I wasn't going to pick anything up off of the dirty floor from a dirty stranger, but New Yorkers have this thing where we will act like we're going to pick it up. So let's just say that like this lighter falls into the floor. I'm just going to move towards it like I'm going to pick it up and wait for someone else or the person who owns it to pick it up. You know? There's a difference. There's a difference. The gratitude focus of the day is we can be grateful for all the times people and our higher power have been patient with us. Sure, Melody. I think the most important thing we could do today is to be patient with ourselves. I'm no longer, I've fallen out of that particular hypnotic rhythm. I'm no longer in that cult anymore. I don't think that God or higher power is being patient with me. I think that a higher power or the existence of an energy called God that is that big is certainly patient enough with me. I think that that energy that you all call God, source, greater wisdom, for you grand rising people, I saw some of them this morning as well. You know, those of you who are grand rising, I think all of that grand rising energy is way more patient with us than we ever are with us. So I'm going to change the gratitude focus this morning to say that we can be grateful for all the times that we have been patient with us. Within my business, there's been for years, a growing sense of impatience. It's kind of like are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And that energy can really, this is a technical term, y'all. It can really fuck with you. That sense of, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Haven't we labored long enough? Haven't we talked about it long enough? Haven't we wrestled with this long enough? And that sense of impatience, or if it's not impatience, that excitement to just, like I said, are we there yet energy? That can really rob us and rob you in your personal journey of being able to just relax. Wouldn't you like to relax in your life? Wouldn't you like to chill the fuck out? Wouldn't you like to not be running to the next thing? No, listen, if running towards the next goalpost personally brings you joy, if you're one of those people that just loves to Sonic the Hedgehog to the end and get all the rings and Super Mario run the flag up the pole, like that's your thing, then go for it, because it's what brings you joy. I get no joy from the rush. I'm the kind of employee, when I was employed by someone, who would arrive 10, 15, 20 minutes early so that I wasn't rushed. Poppy Water is the kind of type B laid back energy where if it takes 10 minutes to get to work, let's leave 10 minutes before we got to get there. We've talked about this in Boost before. He's like, as long as we get there by 6:58, 6:59 every morning, and he and the other gentleman, it's using the term very, very loosely, but he and the other gentleman are coming up the thing, and he's like, oh, Bobby's coming in. That means I've got 1 minute. Like, he loves that. He loves that. But I'm the kind of person who likes to be, like, early. It allows me to kind of just settle into my energies. Because I've seen what chaos and rushing and an impatient energy does to a human. And the human is me. Have you ever tried to rush a person who didn't want to be rushed and felt that frustration? These are important things to see. And speaking of which, we're going to talk about the third eye chakra today, I believe. And every Friday I talk about this because I can't stop talking about it. Please do not, I have suffered in this way. Do not pretend to not see the things that you do see. There's a couple times that I repeat myself in these sessions because it's so important. Do not pretend to not see what you do see. about that internal matter, about that external matter, you pretending to not see the elephant in the room, you pretending to not acknowledge your agitation or frustration with someone is not going to make it better. It's actually going to, at many times, exacerbate the issue, meaning it's going to get larger. So the question today is, what are you willing to see? Dr. Flo, audience, what are you willing to see? We could really stop there. What are you willing to see? Are you willing to see the opportunities around you? Are you willing to see the gift of your life in this present moment? Are you willing to see love? Are you willing to see abundance? Are you willing to tap into that sixth sense? Your insight and your intuition has nothing to do with what you smell, taste, feel, see, or hear. But some ain't right about that guy. Now, some of y'all have that situation about me, and I'm good with it, because that means that your spidey senses are telling you that you would annoy me. That's really what it is. If you're listening to me right now, if you've ever listened to me and haven't muted me yet, or unfriended, or unfollowed, or blocked, or whatever y'all want to do, if there's something within you, in your intuition and your intuitive insight, that's telling you something ain't right about me, you're going to be a problem for me in the end, because you're going to doubt everything that I do. So if you ain't with it, leave. If your intuition is telling you that there's something ain't right about me, then go, because you're going to annoy me eventually in a major way. These people have names. And if you have an insight and intuition that someone else is not going to agree with you, go and pick one of the other 9.8 billion people on the planet to be in harmony with. Your third eye will point you in that direction. It's not confusing. It is not confusing. I spent all my life talking myself out of my intuitive insight and wellness and wisdom, but we all have something operating within us. There's something about our spiritual sensors, or mental sensors, or maybe even physical, you know? Or maybe you just heard them lie or lack integrity so many times that now you see that you're going to have to fact check that person. Now you see you're going to need receipts. Now you're going to need to screenshot some things and throw them into some other places and see if there's any red receipts coming through, so you can see who's actually engaged and tapped in or not. But once you see what you see, and some of my spiritual teachers of the past would call it in your knower. Once you know and see in your knower what the real is about a person, even if it's me, you know, I have no problem being ghosted by anybody, because I know that God, source, spirit is my supply. So if it don't work out, boo-boo, it don't work out. I really do live that way. And we talked earlier about the fact that that will cause problems for people when you're like, bye. I'll see you when I see you, or this is the last time I see you. And I wish you freedom. But seeing what you see, and tomorrow knowing what we know, after you see what you see, you begin to know some things. You be knowing. You be knowing. You be seeing. You be knowing. Let's go through the whole thing real quick. just to tie this all together, because some of y'all don't know how this makes sense, and some of y'all are not even trying to make sense with it. But how it makes sense is that every Sunday in Love and Action Network, we start talking about our root chakra and who we are. On Mondays, we move into how we feel through the sacral chakra. On Tuesdays, we move into the solar plexus chakra about what we do, and being very, very clear with what we're able to say to people what we do. Look, I did this week. I did not do this week. You gonna judge me? You gonna judge me? You, human, gonna judge me about what I did and did not do? We get clear about that on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we start moving into what we love and start focusing on what we love. Thursday, we start learning to speak up for ourselves and actually actualize by talking about the things that are important to us. On Friday, through our third eye chakra, we begin to see things differently. And when you be seeing, you be knowing. And my advice today to you that you did not ask for is that once you see and you know, don't talk yourself out of what you see and you know. I've suffered for longer in my life than I could have, convincing myself that I did not see what I did see. For me, I don't know about you, for me, it looks like hoping for the best or expecting the best or expecting better from people who do not want to get better. Now, I'm not talking about the people who have shown you that they've got, hope in their heart. I'm not talking about the people who are showing you demonstrative effort that they're doing the best they can in the causes and conditions of their lives. I'm talking about the people who've shown you time and time again that they are not going to come to your live streams, Dr. Flo. They do not care about your singing shows. They do not care about Loved and Lovable. They are set on moo. Mooing is a language we use in our community for complaining incessantly without wanting an actual change. Some people are set to mooing. Oh, Dr. Flo, not enough money, not enough time, not enough friends, not enough TV, not enough expression, not enough creativity, not enough. Y'all all got one. Y'all all got one. They're just not content and they're not satisfied for shit. Start seeing that. Start seeing that so you can start to cultivate forgiveness, calm, adult communication. The notes here say communication, but I want to talk today to the adults. I want to go back to lovedandlovable.org. I don't even think the website is up because I bricked everything last night. It's not. You need to go, and I'm going to pop it right now. You need to go to lovedandlovable.org. /emotions once I turn it back on. I was working last night on some things. And once you go to lovedandlovable.org /emotions, and this is the type of stuff that people do not want to talk about. We all have family and friends that do not want to do this particular exercise. And this is why they don't talk to me and I don't talk to them. Because if you go to page 5 of lovedandlovable.org /emotions, which I just took back online in an active live stream, because why wait to do it later if I can do it right now? Why wait to manifest your dream later if you can do it right now? Why wait to move 1% better on your goal today when you can do it right now? Why not go to lovedandlovable.org /emotions and get into that human systems needs wheel 1 and start talking to your partners. You know, some of us are very agitated with our lovers and very agitated with our friends and very agitated in our community because we've not told them to their faces that we need more peace and order in our lives. That's under safety on HS Needs Wheel 1. You may be out there today needing more peace in your life or order. You may be needing more control of your schedule. You may be needing more privacy. Poppy Water and I love each other so much, but for the last year, up until maybe 4 or 5 months ago, we were with each other 24/7 for a year. It was crazy because I worked from home and he was, stabilizing and I was stabilizing. But what about your need for privacy in your platonic and romantic relationships? Now we're in a wonderful place where he goes over into his office, Studio B, and chats very loudly with Gabby and Starlight and everybody else he wants to talk to. And then I'm over with Angie's TV now, watching Steven Universe in private. And a lot of people don't know how to ask their partners for privacy because some of their partners are going to feel that by them becoming private, that means they're going to cheat or become unfaithful in some way or hide something, which of course speaks to a whole different level of trustworthiness in a relationship. But y'all know I drink my water and mind my business. Why be with someone if you don't trust them? It could be that to feel safe, you need the truth. Maybe you can't trust these people because you don't trust that they're telling you the truth. So tell them that in order for your needs to be met and for their needs to be met in the relationship, you require and need the truth. Here's another thing. Happens to me all the time as a leader of a spiritual, mental health, whatever this is, in emergent strategy. Sometimes I don't recognize other people enough. And I'll tell you why. Spirit revealed this to me the other day on my walk. Recognition, meaning you telling me my face looks good or my voice sounds pretty or my wig looks good or whatever, that does nothing for me because I don't have a need for recognition. And now we're getting over into the individuality part of the needs wheel. I don't have a need for recognition because I recognize the fuck out of myself. I realize that because I'm so shiny and excellent and young, gifted, and black, that some of y'all will never clap for me because you'll feel like it's a diminishment of yourself. Crabs in the barrel type of shit. So I learned 3 years ago with Tara and Clubhouse and stuff that I booty clap for myself and I recognize myself. Doesn't matter if you think I'm consistent or not, or gifted or not, or talented enough. I know what the real is. Because some of y'all, let it slip how great I am. But I don't need that recognition. But you might. You might. And there have been so many people that get offended or mad at me or angry at me or turn energetically on me, or like we talked about earlier, they'll go, fine then, Dr. Flo, I ain't coming to none of your live streams. Well, I don't really need that kind of recognition. You're leaving because you do. But admitting to your people that you need it for your sense of individuality might set you free. Poor Loki in that limp. Loki was attacked and he is hoveling on. He's been three-legged kitty for 3 days. Maybe you need more originality. Maybe you need more creativity. Maybe you need more power in your life. I'm not talking about power over. Maybe for your individuality, you need to begin to cultivate and think about where your personal power resides. When was the last time you thought about where your power came from? We don't talk about these things as people. We want to talk about who's fighting their mama, fighting their sisters. We want to talk about who's not giving, who's giving. We'll talk about, Dr. Flo's broke ass, Oh, we're going to talk about, does your power come from having more money than your friends? Does your power come from having more resources than your family members? Does your power come from having a higher GPA? And like I said, if that's something you need to feel individual and you're not getting it, it will create a problem. I'll tell you about this. My father was a dark-skinned black man in society. Born in the 50s, moved through the culture and the agreements and disagreements within our society as a black man. My father had, and we talked about this before, it's an open secret. My father had a need for power over all of us in our family because as a dark-skinned black man in society, he got no respect outside the house. Now, once again, I make motherfuckers respect me. I've told y'all about this. I'm very much, my power in the street comes from, why are you talking to me? Why are you, do I know you from somewhere? Oh, you just wanted to say hello. Hello. My oatmeal is waiting for me. But I digress. My father had no power outside, so he needed to beat it out of us and command it out of us at the home. How would things have moved differently in our family unit if my father had said to my mother and us, I'm feeling powerless? Oh God, men are not allowed to do that in our society, to feel powerless. But maybe if you came home and said, I need more power and self-esteem instead of beating us down, we wouldn't have all the traumas in our communities and beyond. I'm going to stay here a little longer because it's important that once you start to see that something ain't right with you, this is the moment to start investigating the needs. And like I said, there are so many people, because of my work and what I've chosen to do with my life, and trust me, it's a choice. It's a choice. What I've chosen to do with my life has led me to believe that people would rather moo and complain about their lives than to become intimate with the needs wheels. It's so easy to go, as the Buddha would talk about, through the praise and blame thing. It's so easy. Poppy water made me feel. Poppy water. Terra, Starlight, the network, the leadership. It's so easy to say, the religious people in town, the racist people in my town. It's so easy to say they are the ones that are blocking me. But blocking you from what? I had this fixed mindset that I'm not understood. I present as an alleged black person here. I present as an alleged queer person here. I present as an alleged gifted person. I present as a lot of alleged shit here. But this idea that no one understands me or that I can't be understood is a trap that keeps me from expressing that I have a need for growth. We're now in the orange section for those of you following along at home. All of my suffering over the last year was not about Poppy or this community or anybody else that got blamed. It was about the fact that I wasn't learning enough. I was not challenged enough. There was no sense of adventure. I'm going down the list. Sometimes we get bored and there's no excitement around us because we've chosen to not engage new people, because guess what? That requires work. So we just piss off all the people we know and shit on everybody we know, because it's easier to shit on everybody you know than to own the fact that you need to grow and make new friends even as an adult. You want to discover something new. You want to have bigger experiences. You want to feel success. You want to feel novelty. You gotta make a decision as well about whether you want to give these things to yourself or source them from elsewhere. But all of these needs are yours to meet. We help here people figure out their needs and figure out a way to harmoniously meet them. But it's on you, player. In the same way that y'all are like, Dr. Flo, we love you dearly, but that is your life to navigate. We're here to help as you can. Same deal. Same deal. Page 6 of this. As it relates to the needs of your individuality, your safety, your growth in your relationship, perhaps you need more help and support. You should ask for that. I'm still hearing stories of people being afraid to cry and people being terrified of asking for help. I know what it feels like to ask for help and have people play dumb. I know what it's like to ask for help and have people help. But you know what lingers with us a little longer? All of the no's. And then we start getting into this conversation we've been having this week about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. You receive... Even Angie this week told me that when she first encountered me on TikTok, she thought I was crazy. So imagine going out in life. Of course, you got a red wig on your head and everything. But imagine going out in life with the burden of thinking that no one's going to help you because you're crazy or you appear as crazy. These become the self-defeating prophecies that live out in our lives. That's why I go into the needs wheels and say, yo, I need help and I need support and I need to take on a greater level of responsibility and I need to be authentic. I need to be considerate. I need to belong. I need community. You know? So many people today in our country and the world will suffer needlessly because they won't say, I need blank. But you got to see that you have a need before being able to open your throat chakra and speak it. But as you step into your intuitive wellness, you will find forgiveness, you will find calm, you will find communication, you will find confidence, you will find knowing, and you will be comforted. I'm so happy today that I am comforted and that I am comfortable. Why does Dr. Flo keep telling the network and keep telling others that I'm content? Some people many have been having all of these conversations around me. And sometimes I'll just say in the middle of the conversation, well, I recognize that, but I'm content. I recognize the lack of money. I recognize the lack of resources. I recognize that the food's getting low or the gas is getting low or whatever. But you know what? I'm content. I'm content. Why am I doing that though? What's the method behind the madness? It's because if you go back over to lovedandlovable.org/emotions, you'll see the emotional guidance system. The first step to work your way out of boredom, pessimism, worry, doubt, anger, revenge, hatred, rage, jealousy. You jealous people, you will never be able to taste my food for me. You'll never be able to sing my song for me. You'll never be able to fart and release gas for me, you jealous people. You'll never be able to be in my body and my energy when I'm at home with my peace and my love and my joy. When I'm in the center of my soul, you'll never be able to feel what I feel inside. Stop being jealous. I know I quit all of my jobs and abandoned all of human responsibility, and I'm still alive and smiling. You won't be able to feel that for me. You're going to have to feel it for yourself. So to get out of jealousy and insecurity and guilt and unworthiness and fear, grief, depression, powerlessness, and victimhood, the first step out of those level 8 to 22 downward spiral emotions, level 7 to get yourself out of the downward spiral is contentment. What do you see around you that makes you happy? Miserable mooers and miserable people hate it. This is why y'all don't hang out with me, and this is the reason why people don't hang out with me. Because I'm the guy, after hearing you complain about your job or your family or your friends, I'm eventually going to ask you what you are content about in your situation and within yourself. And most people do not want to have that conversation. Think about it. Most people want to call you or text you and unload all of their misery loves company kind of business on you. Start asking all of the mooers in your life. Start asking all the mooers in your life what brings them joy. You'll start to have to look for them. Where did such and such go? I don't see such and such no more. It's been weeks since I actually laid eyes on such and such. It's because you brought an upward spiral energy into their downward spiral lives. Do not worry about it. What makes you content? Because seeing what makes you content will step you into being hopeful about your future. You'll start talking more optimistically. You'll have a positive expectation and belief about who you are. You'll begin to have an enthusiasm about what's to come. And let me tell y'all something real quick as well. I don't know where we are on the clock today, but it is, we're over an hour now. It is my show. You can be enthusiastic about your life and tired at the same time. You can be physically exhausted. You can be very overwhelmed by all of the stuff going on. And we all have reasons to be tired. I don't work half as hard as the people in my life do in their jobs and things like that. But I get tired too. What happens when you're tired, but you're still enthusiastic about the hopefulness of what is to come? Sure, girl, I hear that you're tired. I hear that you're overwhelmed. But is there anything that's bringing you an enthusiasm? Is there anything that's lighting you up? People hate that question too. They do not like that question. They're in the food lion, beeping the food, beep, 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 wishing their lives were better. And I say, what lights you up? Level 3, enthusiasm. What lights you up today, Dr. Flo? Steven Universe is lighting me up today. History Channel is lighting me up today. Doctor Who is lighting me up today. The fact that I get to express myself in the world without masking. I love that. I love that you all actually get to see the real me now. I'm not going, I'm fine when I'm not. I'm not showing up when I don't want to. Increasing the enthusiasm, increasing the passion, and then making room for joy. But start asking people around you what makes them content, and start asking them what lights them up. And start asking them that in the midst of their complaining. And see how many friends you have later. There's a list of random things in the chat. So I guess that's the answer by what lights you up. Dr. Flo, my kiddo, my pre-pregnancy pants that fit this morning. You see how that did nothing for me, but it lights her up? That's important. I am not pregnant, so pregnancy pants do nothing for me. I do not do children, so the child is nothing for me. And Dr. Flo, I don't even know that guy. And if you see him, like the Buddha said, if you see this guy named Dr. Flo walking down the street, kill him dead. Kill him. He's got problems. More issues than Time magazine. But yeah, I see you, Tara. That's what she's enthusiastic about today. And it's important that she is enthusiastic about these things, but not in a performative way. I hope that everything that she wrote was true for her, because enthusiasm is exactly that. They don't call it out-enthusiasm. Out-enthusiasm. They don't call it ex-enthusiasm. They call it enthusiasm. So I hope that list is true. I don't know what I would have done to contribute to this lighting up of Tara, but sure. That's her list. And that number 3 list is going to, like I said, more passion, more joy, more knowledge, more empowerment, more freedom, more love, and more appreciation. Maybe she added me to her list to tap into appreciation. I don't know. She can tell you. And she will. You can eat foods like blackberries, plums, and grapes. You can pray to crystals like indigo gabbro, blue kyanite, labradorite, lepidolite, amethyst, who's a character on Steven Universe. We love amethyst. And also lapis lazuli, or lazuli. They said it differently on Steven Universe the other day. So now, like, is it lazuli? Lapis lazuli. Sure. But you can use these crystals and others from Steven Universe, and the plums, and the blackberries, and the grapes. Tara loves the plums. To conjure, to think about, to obsess about, to be attracted to forgiveness. Calm, communication, confidence, knowing, comfort, all those things we talked about. Now, some of you may be wondering, like, what is this guy talking about? What is he dealing in? Chakras mean, what do they mean? Wheels in Sanskrit. And occasionally these wheels in our lives that loop up through the body in our imaginations, you don't have wheels inside of you. I know this is hocus pocus. I know this is woo-woo. I know this is spiritual and not physical. But can you imagine these 7 wheels within you, and sometimes they come to the left and right out of alignment, and there is a serpent in Kundalini that just kind of winds up through them and tightens up and just brings everything to the center. And when you're off center in your third eye, you will be confused. Scared to go forward or scared to go back because you're confused about which direction to take. People, and I've done this as well, you just don't move forward because you haven't gotten clear. There's a bit of a confusion about, for me, humble brag, my issues are not that I don't have, that I'm confused about having a dream. My confusion creeps in sometimes, or I bring confusion to myself because I've got a lot of things that I do well. I can become a really awesome teacher in the public or private sector. There's a shortage for that. I could go and sing back on Broadway again with a lot of work and effort, but I could do it. I've done it before. I could go to cruise ships. I could go sit in an office and rot away. Personal opinions. So my confusion and my imbalance and your confusion and imbalance will sometimes come in life because you're just multi-hyphenated and you're multi-talented and there's just so many things that I could be doing on this Friday. So I'll watch cartoons instead. But confusion is part of an imbalanced third eye chakra. They're my neighbors. They're my neighbors. Misalignment with your intuition can come when you're imbalanced in your third eye chakra, when it's off center. You'll become narrow-minded, meaning that you can only see things through your fixed mindset. And shallow misunderstandings. What this looks like, the shallow understandings. The shallow understandings looks like the celebrities and the people in your families and your friend groups who say they don't understand what's happening in Gaza. I just don't understand. I haven't looked into it. I don't really, we have people in the industry. I have friends in the industry who just, and people, around who they just do not, they can't comprehend. They just do not understand the bombs that are falling in Gaza. Forget about the fact that they've been falling for 50 plus years. They just can't. They're just standing at the Met Gala, in their flowered outfits, saying, I just do not understand what this is all about. Imbalanced third eye, or intentionally covered third eye. I tell y'all every Friday as often as I can, you cannot wake up people pretending to be asleep. Okay? Dr. Flo, I didn't know that you do daily boosts. Dr. Flo, I didn't know you sang. Dr. Flo, I didn't know that you were a clarity coach. Dr. Flo, I didn't know that you did workshops to help people. Dr. Flo, I didn't know that you help people represent themselves online. Dr. Flo, I had no clue. I had no clue. Well, then why are you in my stories every day? I had no clue, Dr. Flo. I had no clue. I just saw your light stone day before yesterday. Now you don't know? Shallow understandings on purpose. But I never leave you without good news. I never leave you without good news. You do not have to be in confusion and misaligned with your intuition and narrow-minded and shallow in your understandings or pretending to be. I think that a lot of you are smarter than you let on to be. And you certainly have smartphones that are smarter than you, so there should be no issues. Just say that you don't check your text messages. Just say that you don't check your emails. Just tell me to my face that you do not care. I would have more respect for the adults of the world if they simply owned what it was. If you have not done for me, it's because you don't want to do. Say that so we can be done with it. But don't worry about it, y'all. I'm aligned with my third eye chakra. I have great discernment. We talked earlier about the fact I talk myself out of that discernment by being a healer. And some other time, because I'm way over today, we'll talk about how being a healer can often be a liability. Being a healer and being hopeful for positive outcomes for people even more than they hope for themselves is a giant liability because it will make you turn off your discernment. You'd be sitting at dinner tables with people that you shouldn't even be sitting at dinner tables with because you turned it off because you wanted to heal them. You thought you could love them enough for them to stop doing stupid things. Oh no. Trust your great discernment. Trust your clarity. Trust your intuition. Trust your imagination. Oh, I needed to hear that today. Dr. Flo has oh my God. I have a 27-page proposal of what I give to the world. I have I have documented, last year, I have documented and outlined with pretty pictures of me and my former work and everything. I have a 27-page prospectus and proposal of what I offer. You know how many people wish they had a 27-page? Hey girl, that's all you always say, Dr. Flo. So gorgeous! That's all you say. That's all you say. So there you go. Gorgeous! That's all you say. I have a 27-page prospectus of my gifts to give to the world, coming out of my imagination. Do not let anybody talk you out of your imagination. Don't let anybody talk you out of those ideas you have. You know, when you have an amazing idea, you have a 27-page proposal of the gifts you bring in the world. Most people are like, I don't know what I want to do with life. I have a 27-page document of what I want to give to the world with my life. And I'm over here pretending like I have no imagination. Do not let the people who go, well, how you going to do it? Where you going to get the money? What about the bills? How much do you owe? Don't let any of that get in the way of your imagination. Do not lose your alignment with your imagination because other people can't see what you see. While I'm redesigning the website today, I need to make sure that 27-page proposal listing job descriptions, I can provide 6 different services to an organization while singing my fucking head off. I have imagination. I cannot allow people who lack imagination to disconnect me from myself. Or people, once again, I want to be larger and want to be seen by most of Poppy Water. I don't know about Starlight and Tara doesn't want it, which has caused its own energetic here. But we can talk about that some other time. Most of the people beyond Poppy Water, and he's going to have to apply more work and effort into it in order to do it. Most of the people around me don't want to be seen in front of the cameras the way that I do and the way that I have been and the way that I will be again. That's important to know. So when they start offering their opinions and their thoughts, albeit helpful about what you're doing, you have to be clear about, is our imagination aligned? You want to clean pee and poop off of a child. I want to be on TV. We have different imaginations. Doesn't mean that those imaginations are right or wrong. We're not making a judgment on what the fuck you want to do with your life. But I'm just going to land here by saying, make sure that you're connected into your imagination. It's very clear by the demonstration of our lives, no matter how helpful we are to each other in the ways we can be, Tara and I are on 2 different trajectories in life. She's trying to get the baby pee off of surfaces right now. And I'm trying to go and make millions on TV. So just be clear about that. Be clear that you're connected into your imagination because it will creep in. And like I said, Tara means me the best. The network means me the best. Poppy Water means me the best. I don't doubt that people mean me the best. But if you're heading in 2 different directions, you're heading in 2 different directions. And it's me who needs to remember, as I just did, the 27-page document that simply and profoundly demonstrates what I want to bring. It is my responsibility, which of course we always talk about the ability to respond. It is my responsibility to stay connected to what I see. Because we're all seeing different things. And we're all wanting different things. And seeing is believing. If you think it and believe it, you can achieve it. What a long one, huh? Man, that guy can talk. That guy can talk. We'll land here with Invictus. By William Ernest Henley. One of my favorite ones because, like I said, and I have family and friends who've gotten mad at me about this and gotten offended and walked off. I don't care. I really don't have two fucks to rub together. Your destiny and purpose and dream is very unique to you. You can't expect anybody else to get it 100% of the time. And you cannot allow them, in your seeing, spiritual, physical, otherwise, you cannot allow them not seeing it, or don't allow them in their not seeing of it. Do not allow them in their not seeing the whole staircase that you can see to stop you from taking the first step. You're worthy. Invictus. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. That felt good. I'm going to read it one more time. Out of the night that covers me, and it will, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. That's a lie. Y'all have watched me cry in here a lot. And once again, some of y'all need to cry. I told Starlight Mystic yesterday, I was on the way to the shower, and she was like, well, have fun in your crying chamber. I said, that's you. You call the shower the crying chamber. I never heard that before until you said it. I don't cry in the shower. I cry on camera so that y'all will give me money. I told her that yesterday. I said, I do not cry in the shower. I cry on camera for the ratings so these donations can go up. Y'all can be prideful and, I'm sorry. Give me a moment. Y'all can cry in the corners. Y'all can say, help. I'm out here, help! In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. Today and always, y'all, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Thanks for stopping by today. If you were moved by what I shared, and if you have not already donated in energy, time, talent, or treasure to the work that I do and lead here, along with our community of practitioners, healing practitioners, go to lovedandlovable.org. Top bar, donate to our cause. Click here to give cheerfully. You can chat with Helen and our team if you would like more information. And you can click there's only one button on the page now. It says Explore Our Network. You can check out our events. You can read our FAQs, our frequently asked questions. You can join the network by signing up on a wait list, and we will get back in touch with you and sort you appropriately to make sure that you get the most loving care here. And you also can apply an audition to be on our team. I'm going to click through here real quick. Right now, I've currently available a part-time booking agent and a part-time remote artist manager position. There'll be more positions added as I move into the weekend and get my shit together. But right now, if you're interested in being part of our talent team as a part-time booking agent or a part-time remote artist manager, those positions are available on the site right now. In addition to... That's it. That's it. Any questions? Cries of outrage? But what about? Before I go back and watch Doctor Who, while being a Doctor Who myself. Okay. May you be happy. No more random Dr. Flows with nothing else to add to my life but telling me my own name. However, would I have known my name if Gorgeous hadn't told me? May you be happy. You're welcome. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free of all suffering. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free of all suffering. May you be happy. I am. May you be healthy. I am. May you be free of all suffering. In this moment, I am. And may it also be with you today and every day. Until next time, stay loved and lovable, stay in your joy, stay in your power, and visit lovedandlovable.org to bring your needs or your seeds. We are looking for your needs. If you're out there, I will say this. If you're out there and you have a need and you've dropped your ego defenses enough, this is very key. We just raised hundreds of dollars, soon to be thousands of dollars here to pay back rent and all of these different things here in the network and as part of my mission and my life. If I didn't drop my ego defenses, if I didn't relax about how y'all would feel about me not having a traditional job and asking for your money, if I didn't drop that, I'd be right where I was. And a lot of us in life have profound needs. $ Dr. Flow funds. A lot of us have profound needs, but our egos and our pride is too big. The one thing that my community, and they have names like Tara and Nadia and Brentley and beyond, one thing that happened is that I was left or placed or maneuvered or situated in a position to where my ego could no longer remain. Everything happened in such a way to where I was going to have to really let go. They still think I have a big ego and arrogant and rude, and I get told sometimes things slip about how people really feel about me. I promise you, I don't give a fuck. I'm on a very specific mission here. And like I talked about earlier, most people don't want what I want. The people around me don't want what I want. They'll tell you they don't want what I want. So I then had to drop my ego and bring my needs to the community with full vulnerability. There was no other way. And now that my needs are being addressed, I now got seed to throw. Let me back that up. I always had seed to throw, but it's very hard to throw your seed when your needs are not being taken care of. So I want to encourage you to drop your ego, or, because listen, they judge me. Tara, Starlight, not negatively all the time, but there are definitely there are definitely feelings and opinions about the care infrastructure here. So there's no way around it. They're going to feel some type of way. Nadia is going to text you and say, "I'm so happy to see the way the community is helping you." Da, da, da. All that's going to happen. And you're going to be like, "Oh my God, like maybe maybe I'm asking for too much, or maybe I'm doing too much online, da, 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 like whatever." In order for your need to be addressed, especially if you ain't got no money, you're going to have to drop your ego in order to say help. You're also going to have to allow other people to witness you asking for help. Some of you were around and some of you were not, and that's chill. No one gives a fuck. Not anymore. When I was going onto Facebook every day and just saying the word help. We have recordings of this in the archive and in the magazine and in the podcast, because it was crazy, because I was just putting in the letters HELP. And there were people who were coming, and there were people who were not coming. There were people who wanted clarity and what have you. But I had to confront and carefront myself about how it would feel to have other strangers and friends and colleagues and business partners and cousins on the internet know that I was a broke Broadway bum bitch, in someone's opinion. How would it feel to ask for help when everybody giving me help knows that I'm capable of getting my own? How would that make me feel? But we deal with feelings every Monday here. Monday or Tuesday. So I was able this year to navigate my feelings. I've been in the Love and Action Network programs. I'm here almost every day. So then I got clear with my feelings. Oh, they think I'm a broke Broadway bum bitch. Some of that's true, some of it's not true. But what's going to move me forward to actually having a happy, healthy life that's free of suffering? Looking like a needy person in front of my family and friends. And a lot of y'all are afraid of looking needy in front of your family and friends. Because guess what, y'all? I'm not even trying to blow smoke up your ass. People do treat you differently according to what they think you can do for them. And they also treat you differently in proximity to their wealth. We talked about this earlier. People who only have power in their lives because they got more money in the bank than their family and friends. That's a special kind of hell, though. That's a special kind of hell. Because if you only derive your power from having more money and resources and access to nice things in your family and friends, you're going to have to really, really work hard to stay in your supremacy. We've not talked in here a lot recently about familial and friendly supremacy. The ways in which that a lot of people in my life are convinced that they're better than me, whatever that means, because they got more on their Cash App. But once you drop your ego and you realize that, it's a circle of life in this bitch, and that you are sometimes on the bottom side of your circle, and sometimes you're on the top, and just keep living because you're going to be on the bottom and top, you begin to then bring your needs to the market. You begin to bring your needs to the people. The needs get addressed, and then you're able to just platform your seeds. And so y'all are going to be seeing programs like Love and Action Network's Seed and Need programs coming out, because it's important that if you're not stuck in your ego defenses, and if you're not blocking your own blessings, and if you're not standing in your own way, and you're under the sound of my voice, you should feel empowered to say what you need with your full chest. And if someone judges you for having a need, they're just a person who's judging themselves harshly, because there's not a motherfucker in here who doesn't need something. I see the way y'all act, and I watch the way you text, and I'm around you a lot. And you got lots of seed to throw too. Lovelovable.org. Have a great day. An hour, 36 minutes, 6 seconds. Peace.